How to track training load to avoid overtraining. Have you ever wondered how athletes manage their training to avoid burnout and injuries? Tracking training load is key in preventing overtraining syndrome, which can lead to fatigue and decreased performance. Let's break down how to do this effectively. First, we need to understand what training load is. It consists of two main parts: external load and internal load. External load is the physical work an athlete does. This can be measured using objective data like power output, speed, and training duration. For example, power output can be tracked using a cycling power meter, while speed can be monitored with global positioning system technology. In team sports, time motion analysis helps track distance covered and intensity. However, keep in mind that this technology may not capture rapid direction changes or contact actions accurately. By converting external load data into scores like training stress score, coaches can quantify the workload athletes experience. Next, we look at internal load, which reflects the physiological and psychological stress from training. Athletes can use the session rating of perceived exertion scale to rate their effort after each session. This gives a subjective view of how hard they feel they worked. Heart rate monitoring is another effective method, as it tracks cardiovascular responses during and after training. Wellness surveys can also provide insight into fatigue, soreness, sleep quality, and mood. In advanced settings, biochemical markers can help assess stress and recovery. By combining both internal and external load data, coaches can get a complete picture of an athlete's training stress and recovery needs. Real-time monitoring tools are incredibly useful. They allow coaches and athletes to adjust training intensity and volume on the spot. Metrics like training impulse and training effect can be tracked live, helping to guide decisions on when to reduce or increase load. For practical applications, planning training cycles with progressive overload and scheduled recovery is essential. This helps avoid sudden spikes in training load. Using wearable technology consistently can help collect and analyze load data. It is also important to educate athletes on self-reporting tools like the session rating of perceived exertion scale and wellness questionnaires. Adjusting training based on individual responses is vital. Factors like injury history and competition demands should always be considered. Collaboration with rehabilitation and injury prevention specialists is also important, especially during return-to-play phases. Accurate load monitoring is essential for preventing overtraining syndrome. It reduces the risk of injuries and optimizes performance. Both objective data and subjective feedback are necessary for a balanced understanding of an athlete's readiness. While technology plays a significant role, expert judgment and communication with athletes are equally important. By consistently collecting data over time, coaches can identify trends and early warning signs of excessive fatigue. Tracking training load effectively helps athletes stay healthy and perform at their best.